feel free to put those in the chat. I'll save some time at the end. This session is being recorded, and I'll also at the end kind of point you to some additional help materials as well. Okay. I do have some slides at first, but then we'll jump over to a live demo. This is all about the eBook Central Reader app. I will say your institution may or may not have already moved over to the app. And I'll kind of show you some ways that you'll be able to tell that as well. This is to replace Adobe Digital Editions in eBook Central. So this does not affect your users' ability to read books online. They can still open the online reader app. They can read it. This is just if somebody wants to do a full download of a book, to read later, they would then download it to the app versus downloading it to Adobe Digital Editions. And again, your institution gets to determine when you want to move over. There are some kind of waves happening this year, and there'll be some additional options for 2026 that should be posted pretty soon. And again, I'll point out all that information here towards the end. So just some session objectives for today. At the end of this session, you'll be able to know how to download the eBook Central Reader app, read a downloaded title in the eBook Central Reader app, know where to go to manage your devices within eBook Central, and then, of course, learn where to go for some additional help. So just a little bit about the eBook Central Reader app. It does offer some improved accessibility against the current Adobe Digital Editions. The mobile app provides users with an easy way to download and read ebooks. It is built in-house, which means the Clarivate team has full control on features and functionality and don't have to rely on third parties like Adobe to do the development work and accessibility enhancements. The initial release, which has already been released, will provide a full reader and bookshelf experience for titles from eBook Central. There, with multiple user interface languages supported, there will be additional features planned for future releases. So just talking about some of the features that are in the current release, you have in-depth book details. You can adjust the reading size. It's fairly simple navigation. You can kind of jump directly down using the table of contents. There is an in-book search, and there are bookmarks. Some things that I've been getting asked about that are not part of this initial release are like highlighting and a couple of the other annotation features. But again, right now you can add bookmarks. And I will say another question is if your users currently have anything downloaded, in their bookshelf, they've downloaded it via, Adobe Digital Editions. If you were to change over to the app, those books will show up in the app when they download the app. So anything that is in their current bookshelf as a download would show up in the app. Okay, so let's talk about downloading the app. So most eBook Central sites require you to sign in to gain access to the site, and that typically also signs you into the personal account, which is also referred to as the bookshelf account. You can download the eBook Central app on up to 6 devices. You must register each device. And again, we're going to walk through this. So while logged into your eBook Central account, you would click on Profile, and that is where you'll then see Manage next to those EBC app devices. And on the Manage Your Devices page, you're going to see the option to get a registration code or to download the app. And what we're looking at here is, this user in this example has not downloaded the app yet. They're using 0 of 6 available devices. And when we say devices, you can download the app, if you have an iPhone, if you have an Android, if you've got your Mac, your Windows computer, your iPad, things like that. So again, 6 devices that you can download the app to. So if we click on download the app, it takes you to the directions for how to download and install the Ebook Central app. And again, this is available as a Windows download, as a Mac download, and you can also search for the app on the App Store, so for Apple, and in the Google Play Store for Android. So installation instructions apply to personal devices as well as managed devices without restrictions set. And when we say managed devices without restrictions set, we mean that if you go to download, say, on your work computer, and you're able to download software without admin rights, then that means that's without restrictions. We've For a lot of our libraries that tested this, the biggest issue they ran into, of course, was they wanted to download it onto their workstation at work, and they didn't have administrative rights. So they had to, of course, submit a ticket with their IT department, and their IT department had to, allow that download. So that is something to think about if you have managed devices. So, and I'll also be pointing out, we do have a download that can be pushed out to all institution devices if that's something that your institution wants to do. But again, if it's your personal device, your iPhone, your Android, your Mac, your laptop, you won't run into that restriction of having to have those admin rights. So once you've downloaded the app on your preferred device, then you need to enter a registration code. And on your managed devices page, you also see the option to get a registration code. You'll need this registration code to register your eBook Central app after you've downloaded it. Each registration code is unique and can be used only once. So after a code's been used to register a device, it's marked as expired. So to register additional devices, you have to generate a new code for each one. So if you've downloaded your app, you open your app on your phone or your computer, wherever you've downloaded it. When you first open it, it's going to ask you for that registration code before it takes you into the app. So this is where you would enter that registration code. And again, we'll kind of walk through this in a live demo as well. So downloading a title, a full download is downloading the book for offline access, and again, is going to require you to download and install the eBook Central app if you haven't already. This is, again, dependent on if your institution has moved over to using the app yet. If your institution has not moved over to using the app yet, you're still going to be prompted to download that through Adobe Digital Editions. So this is just an example when you're browsing for a book. The download option can be found in multiple places. You have the download book option available underneath that, the cover art here. When you've opened the book details page, you have it available when you're searching. You'll see it next to the title here on the right. You also have it available when you're in the online reader. You'll see the option to download the title when you're reading it online as well. Again, if some eBook Central books may not be available for full download depending on publisher and library settings. Again, that's been the same as always. If you're not already signed into your eBook Central account and you go to click on download, it's going to ask you to sign in either on your library's login page or the eBook Central login page, depending on your library's authentication method. And I will point out to you when we jump over to the live demo, if you're the admin for your for eBook Central, so if you're the one that logs into Lib Central on the back end, I'll show you where you can see find out what your authentication method is if you're uncertain. So you'll see the download book option again within the online reader. This may be at the bottom if you're viewing an EPUB, like our example on the screen, or it could be at the top if you're viewing a PDF. Some libraries do require you to open the book in the online reader before downloading. And again, if you click on that download, it's going and you're not signed in, it's going to prompt you to sign in. So once you click on the download book, you choose your loan length. And again, these loan lengths are set by your library. So, you may see the option for 7 days, for 21 days, but whatever is available in that drop-down menu, again, is up to the library. So you want to click on how long you want to download the book for. And then you get a confirmation that your title has now been added to your bookshelf in the Ebook Central app on all of the devices that you've installed the app on. So for example, this one just says, this book will now appear in the Ebook Central app on all your devices, and it's letting me know I'm using one of 6 devices. So if I had downloaded the app on 6 devices, what this would say, 6 of 6 devices. So this is, if I've downloaded the app on my iPhone, on my iPad, and on my laptop, when I download that book, it's going to show up across on my app on all 3 of those devices. So I can view it from whichever device I want to view it on. So just a bit about reading in the Ebook Central app. When you access your Ebook Central app, you're going to be taken to your bookshelf. This is what your bookshelf will look like on the app. You have the option to view this as a thumbnail view, which we're looking at, and then also as a list view. And you can change in between these 2 top right options here. So for thumbnail view and list view, you can also change your language settings for the app. So again, this would just change the wording in the app, not the wording, not the language of the book itself, but you can change those language settings up here at the top right. So in our current example here, both titles are grayed out. They've been added to my bookshelf, but they've not been fully downloaded in the app yet. So you'll see the option to either go to the book details page or the option to download. So if we click on download, our cover art then there turns to color, and then instead of the option to download, we get the option to read. Just to point out the list view here for the bookshelf, you again have the options to download if you've not already downloaded the title, or you have the options to read if you've already downloaded the title. You'll also see a little widget. This also shows up on the thumbnail view as well, where it will take you to the last book that you were reading within your app and to the last page. So you can just jump to where you were at in the last book that you had open. Just to show you from your My Bookshelf, you can see information such as when a book's loan period will expire, if a book's loan period has already expired, and then also the status here. You kind of see if I were to click on download, I kind of get this kind of circle that will be completed once it's fully downloaded. Again, same thing in the when you're looking at the thumbnail view, you can kind of see your expired loans, whether or not you need to download a title, and then your full download. When you click on the book details option, you're going to see a short description of the title. This is the same description that's found on the Ebook Central platform itself. You'll see the read button if you've downloaded the title. If you haven't downloaded the title, that would say download instead. So let's go ahead and look at what that looks like when we click on read. So this is the full text of the title, which is now displayed in the reader within the app. And then just starting at the top right there, you're going to see the underlined A icon, which this will bring up text settings. You can change the size of the text. You can make it larger or smaller. The book icon there will display the table of contents. Next, you'll see an open book icon, which will also display the table of contents. The bookmark icon, which will show you any saved bookmarks. And then you do have the option to search within that, search the full text of the book. And then finally, down at the bottom, you'll see the copy page icon. Note that if this is grayed out in your app or on the eBook Central platform, it just means that it's due to copy limits being reached or restrictions. And then we also see the bookmark icon, so that allows us to place a bookmark on a specific page. And then we have our way that we can kind of jump between pages. We can click in here and type a page number. So different options to kind of move around here. We can also click on the table of contents and jump to a specific chapter or section. And then just a couple of things about removing a download from the app, and then we'll kind of jump over to a live demo here. This option is you can remove a download. So this option is available for books that have active loans that have been downloaded. If you want to remove the download, you can. When you select remove, it removes the download from your device, but the book will still appear in your bookshelf if it still has days left on the loan. So you could always go back and re-download it. So again, removing the book removes the download from the device, but does not affect the remaining time on the loan. Loans will remain active until the loan period expires. And if you were to click on remove download, it just says, are you sure you want to remove this? This will free up space, but you'll need to download this book again if you want to continue reading it. And then you'll see you'll have the option to re-download that again. If you want to click on download again, you can do that. To delete a book, you can delete a book from your bookshelf, but it would be after the loan period is expired. So you won't see that option to delete a book unless your loan period is over. So when a loan expires, the book media will automatically be removed from the user's device, and users will no longer be able to access the content of the book. But you can, again, the book cover image and the metadata will still be visible in the app. So users have the option to delete these expired books from their devices if they kind of wish to tidy up their library. Okay, and again, just another note about managing your devices. On the Manage Your Devices screen, you'll see a list of your active devices. You can remove devices from this. You'll see the Remove Device option, and you can also get another registration code if you want to register an additional device. Okay, so let's move over to the demo here. Oops. And let me just refresh this. And hopefully everyone is seeing my ebook central screen here. I am going to sign out because I need to log back in as under a different account here. Okay, so here I'm logged into my ebook central account. Just to kind of show you, if I go to my bookshelf, I can see that I currently have 2 downloads and loans right now, and I can see the expiration dates. I can see my recently viewed, my annotated books, things like that. That's all within my bookshelf. But I'm just going to kind of walk through the process. If I'm a user, I'm just coming in to search for a book. Let's see. So I'm just going to do my search here. And again, you see I have the option to download from here. Depending on your library settings, you may have to go into the reader to do a download. But I can also click on the title here. I'll see my download book option, my download book option here. Again, I can read this online. It does not affect my ability to come into the online reader, still read it within eBook Central. You know, I can search through the book and everything. But if I decide that I want to download this book because I want to check it out, I want to be able to read it later, this is where I'm going to select download. So I click on full download. Again, these loan length days are set by my library, so I'll say we'll do 7 days. I confirm. And this is where it's telling me, okay, the book is now going to appear in the Ebook Central app on all my devices, but I'm currently using 0 of 6 available devices. I can go to manage devices from here, or if I click continue, it's going to prompt me to download the app. So again, you kind of get to that download app option a couple different ways. So it's telling me the Ebook Central app is required to read downloaded books. It's not required to read books on this device. Once installed, use the code below to register your device. I am going to go ahead and copy this, but if I have to go back and get a code, that won't be an issue. But I'm going to go ahead and copy this and click close. Oh, actually, I meant to click on go. There we go, download the app. I'm going to copy this, go to download the app. And this is where I get my 4 options here on where I want to download. Now, because I'm on my work computer, I wouldn't necessarily go to the App Store or Android, but depending on what kind of work computer I'm on, I'm on a Windows computer. So I have the option to download it via Windows or Mac. So I'm just going to click on download. And you see my file downloading here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to open my file. And it's going to, ask me, do I want to install Ebook Central? And I do. And, you can have it launch when ready or uncheck that depending on what you want to happen. I'm just going to have it launch when ready, and I'm going to click install. And again, this is installing it on my Windows computer. Okay, popped up on the other screen here. So when I go to open my app on whatever device I've installed it on, the very first time I go to open it, it's going to ask me for that login code so that I can register this device. So this is where I'm going to paste that login code, and I'm going to click submit. So as long as I'm signed into my app, the next time I go to open it, it's not going to ask me for that registration code. Now, if I happen to log out of the app on my device, I would then have to get another registration code, and I'll make sure I'm pointing out where to get those codes if one is needed. Okay, so you can see these are the books that I had downloaded or checked out that are on my bookshelf. A couple of these I had done previously, and then I've got the one that I just downloaded. So again, I can view this in thumbnail view here. I can see it in list view. So it tells me when my book expires or when my loan expires. I can go back to my thumbnail view. This is where I can change the language settings here. Again, these are not fully downloaded in my app yet until I click on download. So we'll go ahead and do download, and we kind of see this little circle letting me know that it's working on it. And then you'll see now I have the option to read, or, I can go into the book details of any of these, but just to point out the book details, if I click on book details, I can jump to a section here in the table of contents, or I can click on read. So we'll just click on read to open up the book. So here, of course, the first page I see is the cover page. Here is that book details option here that will pop up the table of contents here on the right, where I can jump to, a particular chapter. Let's see if that's going to do it here. There we go. So I can jump to a particular chapter. I do want to point out, again, you can go to your text settings where you can, maximize or keep that down or minimize the text, however what your preference is. Click on my book details page again to bring up the table of contents. The copy allowance, again, this has always been set depending on the publisher or the title. So if you see copy allowances there, that means you can copy from this book. If I wanted to copy this page, and actually this is showing me 2 pages. So if I click on copy, that's just going to kind of put it in this clipboard, and I can copy to the clipboard, and you'll see my copy allowances have gone down by 2. So once those copy allowances are met, I can't copy any more from this particular book. If I want to place a bookmark, again, I can add a bookmark here. So when I click on my annotations option here, I do see where I can manage my bookmarks. I can jump to that page, or I can delete that bookmark. We'll kind of add another bookmark here. And I can also then search within this book. I'm just going to do for a word that I know is in there. So I can search within this title. And then I can jump to, the page that my term or terms is on. The one difference within let me find one that's, the one difference between the app and when you're in the online reader within Ebook Central, hopefully this will pop up here, but within Ebook Central, when you're in the online reader and you do a search, it does highlight those terms for you. In the app, it does not highlight those terms. And I say yet because that may be a feature that's coming later on. But right now you can search within that. You can get an idea of how many results are on that particular section or page, but it's not going to highlight that term for you. So those are kind of some features as you're reading the book in the app, how you can kind of jump between sections and add bookmarks. Now, if I go back, you'll see that I now get this little widget where I can continue to read. It's pointing me to the page that I was last on within that title. Again, if I'm in the list view, it shows me the same thing. Again, I have some options if I want to, if I want to remove this download, I can. If I click on remove, it removes the download, but it doesn't remove it from my bookshelf because I still have until August 6th to access this book. Once the loan has expired, like eventually, I think it's not until like 11 or so today, one of these expires and I'd be able to remove that from my bookshelf. Okay, I'm going to minimize the app here real quick. So if I'm in my Ebook Central and I want to manage additional devices, or I need to get a registration code, that's where I go to my profile. And here's my EBC app devices, and I can manage these. Here I see that I have one registered device, and that was registered today at 10:23. I can remove this device, or I can if I need to get a login code for an additional device because I've downloaded the app to my iPhone, that's where I can get that login code. And again, if I close this out and get a login code, I can get however many login codes I need. So if I go back to my iPhone and all of a sudden I've forgotten what that code is, I can get a new one. And again, here's my download the app option if I want to see how I can download the app again, and I can remove this device if I'm no longer using this device. Before I move on to kind of some things that we can look at in Lib Central, are there any I haven't seen any questions come in yet. So are you able to use the same app for different library collections? So this app is just for your ProQuest Ebook Central collections. I know we've had people ask, can use it for like their EBSCO collections, but this is just for eBook Central. Somebody said, how do we get our school set up to get the app? That's actually, I'm going to move on to that next. Give me just a second here. And I will put this in the chat, but I will also send a follow-up to Devin that will have all of these links as well. So we do have an eBook Central Reader app resources hub. And if you are interested, I will point out a couple things here first. I'm going to scroll down. We do have some info sessions that our product team has put recorded, I should say, but they are answering questions in real time. So they have a couple short sessions, especially if you're the administrator for your eBook Central account for your institution. There is a session on initiating the switch and the next steps. And then there is also the eBook Central Reader app walkthrough. And again, you can register for one, but it's really on demand. You can watch it whenever you want, and you can ask questions, and the product team is the one that is answering those questions. Up at the top here, initiating the switch from Adobe Digital Editions. So Adobe Digital Editions is going away. So at some point, there has not been a deadline yet. And again, these waves that you see here, there will be some more dates coming in 2026. But eventually, every library that uses eBook Central will have to move over to the app. Even if your library doesn't allow downloads, and we'll take a look about how you can tell, even if your library does not allow downloads, you still want to submit this upgrade request form. And again, you can select which wave you want to be a part of. They should be, right now, the next waves are, August 11th, and there's one in September, October, November, December, and then there'll be some more dates coming soon. So once you fill this request out, the eBook Central product team will reach out to you. So it says week beginning of August 11th. If Wednesday that week works better for you, you'll be able to coordinate that with the eBook Central team. So again, every library is eventually going to have to use the app because Adobe Digital Editions will be going away. Is it a free upgrade? Yes. And what if you use a public library and an academic library, but use eBook Central with both libraries? Well, that is interesting. You could, depending on which account you're logged into, if you're logged into your eBook Central account via your academic library, you're going to have your bookshelf there. And then if you are logged into your eBook Central account via the public library, you'd have your bookshelf there. So it would be, there's not a way to merge those bookshelves. So you wouldn't be able to see both those bookshelves within one app, if that makes sense. Somebody says, I'm thinking about public library computers that are used by multiple people and having to register devices. If I got IT to download them, is there any way to do an IP? So for your public library users or those, even your computers at an academic library, really those users, I don't know if you want them downloading the app to those devices. That's something you'll have to think about for your workflow. But this is really like if I'm a student or a public library user, I want to use eBook Central, I want to download a book. I'm typically going to be either downloading that onto my own computer so I can access the app from my own computer and not have to come into the library to do that, or I'm going to be downloading onto my iPhone or my iPad or my Android. So yes, the app can be accessed remote. So the app can be accessed anywhere that somebody has downloaded the app to. So if I download the app on my phone, I'm taking my app wherever wherever my phone is going, my app is on my phone. And you still, yes, you still have the option to read online. So this does not affect anybody's ability to come in and browse or go to the eBook Central website, browse for a book, read that book online. This is only if someone wants to do a full download. And so speaking of that too, let me go over to if you're the administrator. Oh, I gotta refresh this. Sorry, sometimes it logs me out. If you're the administrator for your eBook Central account, you can go into Lib Central and you can find out a couple things. So if this is my Lib Central account, again, this is kind of the back end of eBook Central. If I go to my settings and my system settings, one, I can see a couple things. I can see here on the eBook Central app if my institution has enabled the app or not. If you're the administrator for your eBook Central account, you're probably going to know whether or not you've signed up to be migrated over yet or not. You can also see under your settings the access permissions. If I go to guest here, you can see in your access permission settings whether or not you permit downloads. Again, some libraries do not permit downloads. Your library may not permit full downloads. Again, this doesn't affect somebody's ability to read the book online through the eBook Central platform. This is just, do you allow them to do a full download where they're checking the book out for multiple days? So here you can see if you permit downloads, yes, owned and subscribed only, or no, not at all. Who do you allow to do the downloads, and do they have to download from the reader only? Some libraries have it where you have to go into the online reader first before you're able to download. So you can see those settings here. Also in your system settings, at the very top, you see your authentication setup. So you can see what your authentication type is. For this example, it's patron login, and how they sign in. So all of that you can see in your Lib Central account. Again, this is if your library or institution is wanting to maybe push the app to multiple devices at your institution. Again, these are for managed devices. And then let's go. Sorry, my tools up here get in my way. We have a quick walkthrough. We have a quick how-to guide. We have live trainings for end users. I will say when your library decides to move over, depending on the date they decide to move over to the app, we are hosting webinars for end users. So if your library decides to move over, for example, say your library signs up to be part of the wave that's moving over in August, once you moved over, when your users go to eBook Central, they'll get a little pop-up advertising that there is an end user session. If they are interested in joining that, they can register for it. Even if they can't attend the live event, they would get a recording of the session. We also have on our eBook Central LibGuide, we have information about downloading. So because people will still have Adobe Digital Editions. Some users will be using Adobe Digital Editions because their library hasn't moved over yet, while other libraries have moved over and will be using the app. We are still keeping the information for both how to download using Adobe and how to download using the app until everybody has moved over to the app. But we do have information, downloading the app. They can watch a recorded presentation. There's a link to our FAQs, and they can register for live webinars. So for single sign-on with the app, somebody said, well, other authentication options impact how users can authenticate into the app, or will they just use their individual ID and password? For example, if we have single sign-on set up for ProQuest, will we need to set up single sign-on with the app? So no, you won't need to set up single sign-on with the app. So when well, let me refresh this again. Sorry. There we go. When somebody comes into eBook Central, even now, if you're using Adobe Digital Editions, if they want to save things to their bookshelf, if they want to save annotations, they would have to create an individual password. Um, so let me sign out of here. So, well, this isn't going to show me because I'm in kind of this weird demo thing, but they would see the ability to create their own individual username and password. And that's what gives them access to the bookshelf option. And that's always been the case. Um, so for example, some users create, folders where they've saved certain books if they're working on a project. Some have, if they've annotated books, that automatically gets saved to their annotated books folder within their bookshelf. They can see their recently viewed books and their downloads and loans. Let me make sure. So if you want to enable the app, you would need to, for your institution, you would be filling out this upgrade request form. And again, everybody at the institution would then be required to use the app. So there's this upgrade request form. And again, you choose when you want your institution. And again, this is something you want to talk to with your eBook Central admin or your library admin to make sure, that that's when you want to switch over. I was going to show you one more thing. Sorry. Let me go back to in Lib Central. If you are curious, in Lib Central, if I go to reports and go to usage reports, I'm not even going to run a report. This is just kind of showing me from July of last year to July of this year. But if I click on view summary, you can kind of get an idea within the past year, how many full downloads has your institution or your library actually done? How many times has somebody come in and wanted to do the full download of a book? You probably have a lot of people coming in and that are viewing the book in the online reader, searching through it, but not a lot of them are doing the full download. So this is a good way to kind of see in the last year. And again, this is our demo account, so there's not that many, but I can see total book downloads, there were 87. How many of those total unique users? So there's been 10 of us that have downloaded those 87 titles because again, there's multiple people using this demo account, but I can see the unique users. So 10 patrons this past year have done full downloads of books. So if you're curious to kind of see, how much traffic you get as far as full downloads, you can see that. So we get eBook Central through NC Live. Is it the institution's responsibility to upgrade? Yes. Everybody who gets eBook Central through NC Live, every institution or library has their own unique ID for eBook Central. So again, even if your library doesn't allow downloads, you'll still want to fill out that form. So yes, it is. And I will say this just for Devin to hear, the books team would love it if consortia were able to kind of move over in groups, but they're also aware that consortia contain a lot of different libraries, and to be able to organize that would probably not be that easy. But yes, it is up to every individual library to fill out that upgrade form. Okay, I've hit my time, but again, these things that I've pointed out as far as the resources hub and the LibGuide, I will send to Devin so she can kind of send that in a follow-up. But this has all been great. You guys have had great questions. If you have additional questions, please feel free to send them our way. Do you think the low number of downloads? It could be, because I know Adobe Digital Editions has not been everyone's favorite and has been a little bit clunky. So that could be the case. Yeah. And that summer usage report, I just kind of quickly showed this kind of automatically puts in the last year, but you can of course come in and modify that and run your own report. All right.